What's up, guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning.
what's up? Let's see here. Give a couple minutes, get people on the call. I had to come out to my car. There's too much noise going on. This is my mobile office.
That Escalade.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see you got the new one, right? Coming.
I do. I ordered it.
Nice. What color?
Black.
I
Black
get the black.
interior as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
I like black on black.
Yeah.
I don't like the brown interiors. I
Yeah.
don't.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Those are nice.
I didn't even see it. I didn't even see what it looks like.
Really?
Everybody's like, "Oh, that new Escalade's awesome, dude." I'm like, "I got one. I don't even know what it looks like." I swear to God. They're like, "Oh, the screen's bigger." I'm like, "That's cool." I really.
You're like, bet. I bet it is.
I'll find out when it comes, I guess. I think I might have saw a picture of it like one time a couple months ago, but I was at the store and they were changing my oil, and I said, "Hey, when you change my oil, instead of giving me my same car back with new oil, can you just give me a new car with new oil?" And the guy's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I just want, instead of changing the oil, I just want to change my Escalade right now. You think we could get that done real quick?" He was like, "Sure, let's talk about it, man." So well, I went in there and he's like, "Well, if you want the old Escalade, we can get you one now. But if you want the new Escalade, we got 30 orders on right now. So you'd be like order 31, So I was like, put me in line. So I might not get it till January, but yeah, I can't wait for that thing to come for sure. Let's see, we got to admit people. Anybody here yet? No, not yet. Participants. All right, we're good still. We'll give it another minute or two. We'll go over some sales basics today. Just some sales basics. And any questions, obviously, if anybody has any questions. Let me see if I can pull something up while we wait. All right. Well, we can go ahead and get started here in a second. Does anybody have any questions to get started with? Any questions? Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
With insurance referrals, so when you're getting straight up insurance referrals, like during VIBs or something, I'm finding for myself when I go to book those, I'm getting pushed around a little bit. Do you have any suggestions with like how to book those to kind of get them to prioritize you? Because with a lead, you got like the script and you're telling them you're only covering the area for a specific amount of time.
Yeah.
To kind of, I don't know, just so they're not like canceling as much or like anything I could be saying differently.
Yeah. So I got some new fire this past week. So back in the day, we didn't have much, man. I had to meet with the client in person. I had to get the referrals. We would write them down on these gold cards. It was it was called your sponsorship card, and we had to fill it out, and then the client had to sign it. And when I would call their referral, a referee or whatever, I would call them and tell them, you were sponsored into the program. So some of the verbiage is key as well, which making sure that they know that this is, it's exclusive, and I'll give you some verbiage on that. So I'd call, give them the verbiage. But when I would meet with them, I'd show them, like, here's your sponsorship card. This is what we had to fill out. This is what your cousin, sponsored you into the program. And that's all I really had to go off of. I had some stories from when I was at the house. I talked to the cousin, like, oh, when I was over your cousin's house, did you see that they put a new swimming pool in the backyard? Did he invite you swimming yet? Or whatever. I was over there. The dog was jumping all over me. She made me some of her homemade tea. Did you ever have her some of that? So whenever I meet with a referral, I always talk about the person that referred them, and I reference things so that they know that I was there. There's no way he's bullshitting me on that. Well, he let you sit in and he let you drive his Corvette. I'm like, oh, he pretty much was insisting on me driving the Corvette. I wasn't going to drive your cousin's Corvette. That thing looked kind of intimidating to me, but whatever it is. Yeah, you should have seen him. He took me back in the barn, made me sit on the tractor. I never been on a tractor, but whatever it is, you got to have some stories. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And that's all I really had to go off of. And then we, in 2011, I believe it was, Albie came into the business, and Albie went into a home and made a sale. And after he made a sale, he took a picture with the clients. And the clients were holding the Freedom of Choice certificate. And I said, this is absolute genius. So LB is the one who not invented, but he's the first one that I ever saw initiate a Freedom of Choice picture with the client. So he invented that. So that's from our squad, So at that point, I fell in love with it. And I was like, we got to do this. In fact, everyone got to do this. After every single sale, we have to take a picture with the client. And if for the only reason we do that is to help solidify that sale, that's worth it in itself. And the process was, you take a picture with the client, and when you're in the home with the client, you always have business cards. So make sure everybody has business cards. That's what people believe, like, that you're a real person. Like, if you don't give them a business card, they think you're fake, so it's like, just gives more validity. It lowers people's, I guess you'd call it their guard when you meet with them, just by giving them a business card. Plus, if I met with you and I walked in your house, I sat down at your kitchen table, okay, and we're talking and you're building rapport, and I end up making a friend, because you got to make a friend to make a sale, right? So I end up making a friend. If I don't let them know that this is a business meeting, then they're going to treat me like a friend. And when you get into the friend zone, you don't get into the end zone. We all know that, right? If you're dating a girl, if you want to date a girl and you become too much of a friend to her or to a guy, like, I'm a guy. If I had a girl and she was like my friend, we probably wouldn't end up dating, So same thing in sales is, if you get into the friend zone, you won't get into the end zone. So what's nice is this ain't going to solve all the problems, but it's one additional thing that into the system that I know helps, is when I walk in and I say, hey, Joe, Mary, Tom Vino with American Income. Here's my business card. Joe, here's a business card for you. Mary, here's a business card for you. That basically says, my name's Tom Vina, and I'm here for what? Business. I'm here for business. So when you give them a business card, it establishes that you're there for business. It helps with that. So then at the end of the presentation, when you make a sale, or even when you don't make the sale, I would also have more business cards. These business cards would be magnet business cards. Now, if you're going into the homes, I recommend to have business cards with the magnet on the back. You stick that up on the refrigerator when you leave every single home, whether it's a sale or not, especially for a sale. You stick it up on the refrigerator, and then I tell them on the sale, I say, okay, here's our picture, you know, smile. Okay, great. You know, and then Gio's phrase always works. I like Gio's. He always says, you know, sometimes you could forget a name, but you'll never forget a face. So I always want to make sure you have a face with a name with me, you know, so let's get a picture together to remember this moment. This is one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life. So let's capture this moment. And then in a couple of days, I'm going to make sure I send you a thank you card as well. Keep an eye out for that. In the thank you card is going to be the picture of us as well. If you could stick that up on the refrigerator where you won't forget about me, okay, you could use the magnet that I just gave you. So that's what I would tell them in the home. And then, now, well, the other side would be if we are doing virtual, then what I would do is I would mail them a thank you card, and I would have the business cards in there, but I would also have at least one business card magnet as well. And in the freedom of choice picture, and tell them that they got to put that up on the refrigerator. So if you're doing virtual, you still can do that. All right. But that's huge, because think about it, if you give 10 presentations a week, that's 500 homes that you're going to have a business card in on their refrigerator at the end of the year. How much money do people pay for billboards? In fact, I was driving through Chicago, and there's a beautiful skyline in Chicago. And you drive down the highway. This is coming north, I don't know, down into the city, okay? And we're driving down the highway, beautiful skyline. I mean, beautiful. And you could see everything. And right in the middle of the skyline was like, it's like this. It's like there was a billboard, like right in the middle of everything. This is what it looked like. So you see everything, nice skyline, and then boop, right in the middle of the skyline, huge billboard. It pretty much ruined the view, ruined the view. And it's a huge billboard of some State Farm guy, like standing there like this, or some baloney. So the point is, people spend millions of dollars to get their name out there in front of people. And how many times am I going to drive by that billboard? Maybe never. If I do, I drive by it once, I drive right by it, I see it for five minutes, maybe if there's a lot of traffic. 2 minutes, 10 seconds if there's no traffic, I'm going 80 miles an hour by that sucker. How many times are they going to go to the refrigerator? Think about that. Every day you got advertisement, reinsurance, and your information's there. I had people call me that became clients, but they called me and literally said this: hey, Tom, I was over my brother's house. I saw your business card on his refrigerator, and he mentioned for me to give you a call. I was looking at life insurance for my family. So I've gotten sales off of this as well. Okay. So all that, will help. And I'm saying all that to lead to this, to answer Ashley's question. So we didn't even answer her question yet. So back in the day, it was freedom of choice pictures. And that's what I would use when I went into the home. And that was what I would use to help solidify appointments. So now what we should do, this is what we got to do, guys. You ready for this? So let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with our clients, right? You only got one chance. So I take advantage of it. When I'm in the home and I make a sale, at the end of the presentation, make a sale. I say, okay, Joe, instead of doing VIBs, you could add this into your VIBs, right? You could say, Joe, what I'd like to do right now is I was gonna record the next part of the meeting. Well, you should be recording all the meetings anyways. Okay, you should record all your presentations anyways. Every time I call the bank, anytime I call anybody for anything, they're always like, this call is going to be recorded for quality assurance purposes and customer service purposes or whatever. So when you tell your client, hey, by the way, guys, the presentation, our meeting today will be recorded just for quality assurance and customer services for your sake. They're like, sure, okay. I mean, they ain't even going to think twice about it. So we should record all of our presentations. So, you know, when I was taught this past week, the guy told me that he tells the people this. He says, so guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the next segment. And basically, I'm going to ask you just give me to give some quick feedback on how I did today. You know, you could even be real with them, say, you know, what I'm looking for you to do is basically just give me a quick endorsement for how I did today. Or you could say, I'd just like to ask you a few questions. And what you do is you say, I'm going to ask you just 2 quick questions. If you wouldn't mind if I just record how you respond to them, you know, and basically you say, so Joe, what value did you find in working with me today? And what value did you find in the program that you enrolled into? And they're going to sell you, and they're going to sell the life insurance on that by answering those 2 questions. They're going to tell you, which really they're going to sell you on what value they found in working with you. So that sells you. And then you're going to say, what value did you find in the program that you enrolled in today? Right? Now, we're going to have a recording of this client saying whatever they say. And then you could have both of them say, and Mary, what did you find? Because Joe, and remember, always do both. So you say, what value did you find? And Joe might answer the question, oh, well, Tom, blah, 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 blah. Well, after I get Joe, you know what I'm going to do? And Mary, what value did you find in working with me today? Always get Joe and Mary. And then you say, what value did you find in the program, Joe? What value did you find in the program, Mary? And they have that on thing. And you say, okay, great. With that in mind, I'd like to ask you an important question, right? Who do you know that would benefit from working with me as well? And then I get them to give me the people. And I say, well, whenever I call your sister, I'm going to show her the video of what you guys said so you don't even have to tell her. I'll save your breath for you. You don't even really got to tell her all the things you liked about the program if you talk to her or tell her. But I'm going to play her the video for you as well whenever I talk to her. And if they're giving, like if they, you could do it up front. You could text them the video if it's a quick one, right? But if you're thinking it would help with show ratio, maybe send them the video before you even meet with them. But I know that's definitely something that we can pull up in the home and say, by the way, this is when I met with your sister, here's some of the stuff that she had to say about the program. And when you have those videos and you're able to play them videos, sure, it's another step. But I mean, if you don't do that, you're going to have to make another 6 hours of phone calls. Think about it, right? I'd rather take the 6 minutes in the home to go through this extra stuff that's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's the things that you go out of the way to do are the things that make you successful. If you go with the flow every day, you're never going to get better at all. If you woke up today and just went with the flow, there's no workout of going with the flow. There's no, you have to go out of your way, and it's a pain in the ass to be great. You have to go out of your way to work out. I have to go out of my way to research videos, find books, sit there. I don't have time to sit here and listen to a book and take notes on a book this morning. I had to go out of my way. It was a pain in my ass to do that, you know? But when you go out of your way and you do those extra things, it actually makes your life a lot easier and better. So like in business, I would always tell myself, like, would I rather spend the extra 5-10 minutes in the home or the extra 5-10 hours on the phones? So yeah, I mean, You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to trial and error. You have to do it a couple times, develop a good system for it. First time you do it might not work the best, but it's not brain surgery, you know, pretty simple. And companies do it all the time. In fact, I saw a commercial the other day that wasn't a commercial at all. All it was a person talking about the product. That's all it was. There was no commercial. It was the client said, my name's John. I bought such and such product 2 years ago, and here was the problems I had, and here's what I da-da-da-da-da-da. And then at the end it said, if you want some, click here and you can buy some of the shit. There was no commercial. No commercial at all. They didn't have an advertising team. They didn't have to buy a duck or a gecko or nothing. The most powerful, and it was a good advertisement. It was way more powerful than any harebrained, silly commercial that they could come up with. It was the best advertisement because it was a real person who experienced it, and they were just telling what happened, and that sold it more than anybody else. Oops, something happened here. It went to the Zoom audio. Okay, perfect. So anyways, that's one idea that comes to mind there, Ash. That's one idea right there, for sure.
Bouncing off of that, when you're doing your presentations then, are you stressing that we're only in an area for like the next few days or something like that? Because that's the only thing that kind of like contradicts like giving them a bunch of cards. Like that's a great idea, and I think that's really, really effective. But then a lot of times I'm telling them that we're about to leave their area. This is our last day in the area. So then what happens is if I'll get referrals and they're just like, well, like, how much longer are you going to be here? And I'll tell them the next few days. And they want to reach out to them first before giving them my contact information. So sometimes it kind of just like messes things up. Like, are you doing that in the house or just taking a different approach?
Yeah, I wouldn't think too much into that. I wouldn't think too much into that at all. That whole, I mean, when I book the appointments, I mean, from the get-go, it's always urgency. So, you know, let's how long does the person go there? Yes. I'll tell. So I got a question through text message from one of the managers on Lake Pleasant. So it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll fly in Thursday morning, and then we'll leave Sunday. So we'll have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and we'll leave Sunday. But I'd like to get there early Thursday so we could have 3 full days, you know. And if somebody wants to fly in early on Wednesday and get a hotel, they could do that, be there Wednesday night. But we're going to pick up the RVs on Thursday morning, I believe. So, and it's all paid for. The flight and the RV is all paid for. And then I'll probably rent a boat and, you know, all that kind of stuff as well. People would just jump on. So, but back to the subject at hand is, you know, ring, hello, Joe. Hey, Joe. Tom Bean with American Income. We take care of the benefits for you through your Steelworkers Local 728. I actually have that 3x5 card that you filled out here and returned in. I just need to verify the information that you wrote down, and we'll get you off the phone here real quick. So, Joe, first of all, it looks like you wrote your address as 123 Main Street. Is that still correct? Okay, great. And then you listed, what is it? You listed your date of birth as 8/14/1974. Is that still correct? All right, perfect. And then for the benefits that they picked up for you through your Steelworkers, you listed your wife, Mary, as the beneficiary. Is that still going to remain the same? Okay, perfect. So the reason I'm giving you a call is actually having me out in your area over the next few days, catch up with the rest of the members. And I actually have a really booked up schedule right now, but it looks like I have some time tomorrow between 5 and 6. Or on Wednesday, I have some time a little bit later between like 9 and 10 p.m. What time works best for you and your wife? Tomorrow works good? Okay, great. Perfect. Well, Joe, if you can't, do me a favor, grab a pen and paper real quick. I have some very important information that I need you to write down. Let me know when you're ready. Take your time. Okay, perfect. So first thing I need you to do is write down my name. My first name is Tom. Last name is Vina. That's V as in Victor, E-N-A. The next thing I need you to write down is I need to make sure that you have the time listed there, which is Tuesday, which is tomorrow, between 5 and 6 p.m. Got that? Okay, perfect. And if you could do me a favor there, Joe, if you can put that somewhere where you won't forget about me, and make sure and put it somewhere where Mary will see it as well. I sure would hate for you guys to miss me. So, like I said, Joe, I'll make sure that I see you and your wife tomorrow between 5 and 6. But I do have a very busy schedule, catching up with the members in the area. And I just need to make sure is between 5 and 6. Is there any reason why tomorrow that time wouldn't work for you guys at all? No. Okay, perfect. So you guys will make sure you guys will be home, both you and your wife. All right. Hey, I just had to make sure, because if I give this time slot to you, then I cannot give it to one of the other members that are waiting for their benefits. So I just need to make sure that time works for you. Okay, great. Now, and I don't know, I'll do some more solidification at the end there. I solidify like 2 or 3 other things with them. But then I'll just end the call and say, so Joe, look forward to seeing you tomorrow between 5 and 6 p.m. We'll get you guys all squared away. Sound good? And they'll say, yeah. And I'll say, all right, have a great night. And they'll usually tell me thank you. When they tell me thank you, I know I did a good call. But the point is, when I make the phone call and I set the appointment up, I am telling them, I'm wrapping up the area, or, they have me in the area only for the next couple of days, catching up with the rest of the members. And if I have to start pulling out some stops, I might tell them you're like one of the last few members we need to get out to, things like that. Like if they're like, well, why do we got to meet? I'm like, well, I've been out in the area. I'm catching up with all the members. I just haven't been able to get out to you and your wife. You're one of the last few members that we need to get their benefits out to. Once I get them out to you guys, you guys will be good to go. I'll be out of your hair. You guys will be all taken care of. So all that stuff, I tell them. And then when we're in the home, the verbiage, is like, especially for the referrals, they have to know that this is exclusive. So like sometimes I'll say to them on the phone, I'm like, Joe, hey, Joe, this is Tom Vina with American Income. I actually met with your father, Robert, and your mother, Cheryl, the other day. Did your mom and dad tell you I was going to give you a call? No? Oh, okay. Well, your dad is going to definitely owe me 25 push-ups, okay? Because I was in his gym, and I seen his gym. So we bet, whatever. Because he told me he was going to call you. So whatever. And then I'll say, well, Joe, it was great. I met with your mom and dad, and your dad's part of the SEIU or the Teamsters or the police or whatever. Because the what the heck was I going to say? Was with the Teamsters. So because of that, they was able to qualify for some exclusive benefits, and for a limited time. So I'll go, lucky you. For a limited time, your brother sponsored you to receive the same benefits that they receive at the Steelworkers, and you don't have to be part of the Steelworkers. You don't have to pay any of the Steelworkers dues, but you're going to get all of the same Steelworker benefits at all of the same Steelworker rates. And like I said, lucky you, for a limited time, you could potentially qualify for all the same exclusive benefits that they typically would have. So I had to give you a call to schedule a time, to get you on my schedule. My schedule's jam-packed. They only have me out in the area for the next few days, catching up with the rest of the members. It's going to be like that forever. I'm going to say that same line. They only have me in the area for the next few days, catching up with the rest of the members. So while I'm out here, I needed to get you on my schedule, boom. So on the phones, that's some of the verbiage. Maybe, tell them it's exclusive. Lucky you, this is exclusive.
What if they're not in a union, like the person who's giving the referrals? Because that's really, really helpful. But like if they're not in a union, they were a referral themselves, or they're like a will kit or a child safe.
Same thing. So, Joe, your cousin was able to qualify for exclusive benefits through there's a child safe program through the International Union of Police Associations, and the firefighters and the American Federation of Teachers. And the firefighters, the teachers, and the police have a program, and your sister was able to take advantage of these exclusive benefits that typically wouldn't be available. And for a limited time, she was able to sponsor you into the program as well. So lucky you, for a limited time, you can potentially qualify for the same benefits that they have set up for the police, the firefighters, the teachers, and the company works with 30,000 different unions. So typically you'd have to be part of one of these organizations. You would have to pay the dues to even have access to these benefits. For today, though, you're going to be able to have access to these exclusive benefits at the same rate that all the other members have at the discounted rate as well. So the main thing is making sure you're able to qualify, though, and not everybody can qualify for these benefits. So when I meet with you, I'll be able to answer all your questions, blah, 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 and go over them with you. So it's the same thing. You know, I'll just tell them it originated from a child safe program. And because of that, they work with this 100% union, who we provide union benefits to all of them out there. And for a limited time, you're lucky to have it. Will Kit, same thing. Your grandmother was able to get into an exclusive program through a Will Kit offering that our company was doing for a limited time. Typically, you'd have to be part of a union. You'd have to pay union dues even to get one of these Will Kits. But there's a limited time offer that your grandma was able to take advantage of the Will Kits, and because of that, her and your grandfather, sponsored you into the same program, so that you can have access to the same exclusive benefits that you would typically have to be. And the only way to get these benefits is you have to be a steel worker, a coal miner. You have to be part of the Teamsters, or a teacher, or a nurse, or a policeman, or a firefighter. You'd have to be part of one of these organizations. You'd have to pay the dues just to have access to the benefits. But lucky you, for a limited time, you're going to be able to have access to these exclusive benefits and be able to potentially qualify for the same exact benefits that they have at the same exact rates, at the discounted rates as well. So, and I'll just spin it like that. Does that help? Right? So it's just, don't overcomplicate it too much. Just keep it, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. They ain't going to be thinking like, well, wait a minute. He said it was part of the Will Kits. What's the Will Kits got to do with American Income? How do the American Income work with these unions? What's this all? They ain't even thinking that. They ain't thinking that at all. You know what I mean? They're trying to keep up with what you're saying.
Tommy, quick question. So
I hope this is, it is recording. Yes, it is recording. Okay. Woo. Yeah. We could definitely do that. And as a side note, I have our app developer taking every single recording that we have on here and putting it on the app. So we're going to be able to have access to this too. So we're working on it. But yes, Blake.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as urgency, I'm just wrapping up your area over the next couple of days, but a lot of the families that I run into, especially working families, let's say we have like a nurse and a firefighter, they're home together like one day or 2 days a week at the same time. So a lot of times that isn't possible for them. So would you say, okay, I'm only scheduling the next couple of days, I'll call you back closer to that time and then schedule then? Or would you schedule it and then confirm later down the line?
Yeah. So that's one of these. That's one of these things. That's where he's coming and she's going. Yeah. Right. So always when I'm making phone calls, I'm always telling them things like this, just so I can mark it down on your file, because I act like, I mean, first of all, when I call people, I have a pen and paper out and I'm taking notes. Oh, yeah. Or now it's all like this. So you can have your headphones on, you can have your impact up, and you could type the notes in, I believe, as you're talking, I'm pretty sure. So, but either way, So I'm like, okay, so drive between 5 and 6 tomorrow, or 7 and 8 on Wednesday. What time works best for you? None of those times. Okay, all right. Well, like I said, I'm pretty jam packed here. If I were to look at the weekend, then I have availability earlier on Friday. I could do like 2 to 3 on Friday, or a little bit later on Friday between 7 and 8. What time works best for you? Well, none of those times work good for me or my wife either. Okay, Joe, well, then and you could do this up front. You know, you could even ask them, what time are you typically home from work? And this is where you get it out. So maybe you don't even get to this point. You could have asked them up front, never even got like, see what I'm bad at that. Just so you guys know, like I'm not the best at saying this. So Joe, what time do you guys typically get home from work? And then book the appointment. What I do is I go like this. I'm in the area for the next few days. I'm really jam-packed right now. I really only have available tomorrow between 5 and 6, but on Wednesday I have some time between 8 and 9. What time works good for you? And I never ask them when they get home from work, because my thought process was always this: it don't matter when you get home from work, because I only got 2 availabilities anyways. You know, I'm packed. I got 2 days, this time and this time. That's all I got. So it don't matter what the time this guy get home from work. So that was my mindset. But now I think you probably would see maybe half the people, at least more than half the people making phone calls, go the other route. And they'll say, so I'm in the area for the next few days. I got a really jam-packed schedule. What time do you and Mary typically get home from work? And then they'll say, oh, well, we both work the day shift or whatever. And then we book our appointment after that. Right? So there's 2 ways to go about it. I don't care what you do, whatever you're comfortable with. But the point is, now you get that out though. So I said, oh, so what time do you guys typically get home from work? It's like, well, that's the thing. Every time I'm getting home, like I see her for 20 minutes and then she has to go because she's working the night shift right now. She's working 4 on, 3 off, you know? Okay, perfect. So you know what, Joe? Just so I can mark it down on your file, just so that I'm not calling you guys or you know, just so that so we don't call you at the wrong times or whatever, just so I can mark it on your file. What time are you guys typically both home? That way I can mark it. Like, when are you guys both home at the same time? Just so I can mark it on your file. So I kind of get them to tell me, you know, out of all the days of the week, what are the days and the times that you are home together? And then once they tell me that, then I'll say to them this. I'll say, okay, well, you know what? If you know, freaking whatever, that Sundays are the best day, or if you think so it looks, I'll go like this. So it seems like Saturday mornings are probably like the best time when you guys are actually home, huh? Well, if I looked at my schedule, they actually have me in your area on Saturday. I'm pretty booked up, but I can actually get you guys taken care of right there in the morning. And we could get you squared away between 9 and 10. Maybe if you wouldn't mind, you fire up the coffee, I'll bring the donuts. We'll get you guys squared away. Sound good? So, so I would not tell them I'll call them back. You never want to tell somebody you're going to call them back. That's something we have to avoid at all costs. Because every time that you call that client and talk to them, the chances of booking them goes down in incremental time. You know, so every time I call them, the chances of us booking them is going to go down and down and down. The best chance you have of booking that appointment is on the first phone call. So what I would rather do would be this, okay? I would rather book them for an appointment and have to change it rather than not book them for appointment and still have to book it. So imagine, you know, it's to Monday, we're calling. They're not available all week. They're going camping on the weekend. Next week, she's working, he's working. You got to book them for the following weekend on Saturday morning. 2 weeks from now, on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, right? I would rather book that. And now the next time I talk to them, we might have to change that. It might not work. But the next time I talk to them, get this, guys, ready? The next time we talk, we're going to have to adjust an already set appointment versus this. Hey, Joe, oh, you're camping? You know what? I'll call you back next week and we'll find a better time. Now, guess what? The next time I talk to him, guess what I got to do? Set an appointment. I'd rather the next time I talk to him move an already set appointment rather than establish the appointment. Does that make sense? So even if it's 2 weeks out, book them, and then the next time you talk to him, you could just confirm it or adjust that current booked appointment rather than try to develop and establish a new one.
Awesome, thank you. And would you
That's-
confirm that like the night before?
Yeah, if it's booked out, I definitely would confirm that the call session before.
Yeah.
Maybe the call session before at least. And that's, you're calling to remind them. We're not calling to confirm. You're calling to remind them. Hey, I'm just calling to remind you of our appointment for tomorrow, because you don't want to call. Hey, I'm calling to confirm, and then they can back out.
I have a question real quick.
Go ahead.
If you're like, if you can only book them, 2 weeks in advance or whatever, they're busy, you can only book them, like you said, in 2 Saturdays. How do you like approach that when we're already kind of telling them, we're only in your area for the next couple of days?
Who cares? You guys think too much about that shit.
Okay.
Who cares? I don't give a shit. You guys are worried. Don't even worry about that stuff. They ain't even thinking that either.
Right. Okay.
And the next few days could be the next 60 days. What do they know the next few days? It's the next few. I'm here only for the next few days. I got to get this wrapped up over the next few days. What's the next few days? A few to me could be 700. A few to you could be 3. What's a few?
It's just more
Right?
than 2, that's all.
They're like, what? No one, I tell you this, never in my life, never in my life did a client say, I thought that you said you were going to be here only a couple days, and it's been 3 weeks, and you're still in my area. What is this? Like, you kidding me? They got millions of things going on. She's trying to make meatballs for Sunday. She got Sunday dinner. She got meatballs, cookies. She got to get the Italian bread. You know what I'm saying? Her son skinned her knee. She got doctor's appointments going on. The last thing she's worried about is where the hell you're doing and how many days you're in her area. You know what I mean? All right. Let me go to the chat. How do you approach a lead when you get them on the phone and they act like they have no idea what we're talking about? That they never requested information and they act sketchy. How do you keep them interested? So that's just going back to like, it's like, okay, there's obviously a process of things that have happened here, right? There's a process. There was a card that was filled out for a child safe kit or a will kit, right? And they must have filled it out. So I would just go back and break down, like if it was even if it's a hard card. It happened to me on a hard card. This is a hard card. The guy's part of the union. It's like, I don't remember filling none of that out. Okay, Joe, no problem. A lot of the members forget about this as well. I put them in the same thing. Not everybody remembers filling out the card. Were you at any of the union meetings when he went over this? Okay, well, that's probably where some of the confusion is. That's actually why they have me giving you a call. Okay, your president, John Smith, and all the other unions that we work with have set up these benefits for you. They sent you guys a letter about this in the mail, and I actually have that letter here with me. And then also, there's a card that if you guys needed the benefits, they asked you to fill that out. So it looked like you guys filled that out and returned that. I'm not sure if this is your handwriting or maybe it was your wife's handwriting to fill this out. Okay, but I have the card here. So I just need to verify the information and then we'll get your benefits right out to you. And so the other thing you can do is if it was a will kit or a child safe, I was explaining to them the same situation. So let me break. There's actually the International Union of Police Associations and the American Federation of Teachers and the firefighters have this national campaign for the child safety kits. And it looks like, Mary, they actually have the child safety kits set up for you and they're ready for you and your family because it looked like you guys filled out the card and requested these. So, that's why and they'll say, oh, I don't remember that. And I'll say, you know what? That's actually why they have me giving you a call. Sometimes people don't even remember filling it out. Okay, but this is a huge concern right now due to the high amount of child abductions that are going on right now. This is one of the national campaigns that they have. So it has here's the information that you guys filled out. I just need to verify that first, and then we'll be able to get your kits out to you. In fact, if you can, I'm going to shoot you over right now. If you can pull up your text messages while you're on the phone, I just sent you over a picture of the card that you filled out, and I sent you a picture of the letter from the International Union of Police Associations. So when you get that, that might help just maybe jog your memory a little bit more, or, you know. So those are some things you can do, is really just go back to the story of how this all happened and break it down from chronologically, but name dropping some of the big organizations, you know, that we work with, and then sending them a copy of the card that they filled out, and a copy of the letter that they got in the mail. And if you're running any lead, you got to be prepared. You know, if I'm running a child safe, I got to at least have the letter from the International Union of Police Associations. I got to have some stats around that. You know, and if you need to, you should be able to drop at least 5 or 6 different facts for them as well. Right now, child abduction is one of its all-time highs. Your state was targeted at one of the top 10 states for child abductions in the United States. They're saying a child's going missing every 30 seconds in the United States right now. And the fact is, here's the biggest concern: if a child went missing today, that every hour that goes by without locating that child, they have to expand the search radius by 60 miles. So that's why they need these kits to be in the hands of every single parent with kids, because this gives them access straight to the authorities. And now we have an electronic application. So if the child were to go missing today, like, here's a true story. A father dropped his daughter off for school. Dropped her off, let her out the car, thought he watched her walk right into the school. Goes to work, right? Wife gets a phone call saying, hey, your daughter never came to school today. This is lunchtime now. This is like, I don't know, 10 o'clock, you know, when they figure this out. So then she calls the husband. The husband's like, I dropped her off. So then the school goes like, well, she's not here. So then they contact the police. They go down there, they watch the tape. She never walked into the school. Right? Dropped her off at 7:30. The parents, the authorities, the police, they didn't even realize she was missing until 12:30, 11:30 in the morning, 12:30 in the morning, 4 to 5 hours later. 4 to 5 hours later. By then, the search radius is so big, it's circumvented like 4 or 5 states at that point. You're talking, 240 miles in every direction. So what they did is they needed to make sure that every family had the child safety kits, so that, God forbid, anything did happen, they have the ability to act fast, because that's the only thing that we have as a chance is time. Every second, every minute that goes by, the chances of locating them children go down dramatically. So another thing is stories sell. Stories sell. So if you got somebody and they're like, well, here, let me tell you this. You think you know it all? Here, let me tell you why we need to get these child safety kits out here. You think this is a joke? You know? And passion, man. Passion sells, guys. Passion sells. Story sells. Stories sell. Now remember, telling's not selling. So you can't be in these presentations just telling, talk right at them, telling them the whole time. You got to be able to make a conversation with people by asking them questions and making it more of a conversation, and not like a deliberation where, they're like sitting there and they should be taking notes and you're teaching them like this is like a lecture, right? This is not a lecture. Telling is not selling. The only thing we should be telling are stories. Stories sell. So if you're going to tell something, tell some stories that really can catch people's attention, catch their eye, especially if it's a personal story or something. And you're a good storyteller on top of that. that keeps people's engaged. It makes them forget about the time that's going by as well. So what the heck was I going to say about that? I had something completely else I was going to say. I can't remember now. So we'll keep it moving. But hopefully that helped a little bit with, getting some of that pushback from somebody saying they don't remember filling the card out. There's probably some other good stuff you can do as well, but that's just off the top of my head there. Oh, here's what I wanted to go over is passion. There's a saying, it says, make them laugh, make them cry, make them buy. They need some entertainment. There's another one that says, entertain, educate, enroll. Entertain, educate, enroll. So same thing. We have to be entertaining at some point. You have to have a couple of jokes, couple stories, personality, passion, voice fluctuations have to be part of that. You can't say, well, that's not me. That's fine. When you go home, you don't got to do that. But when you're on stage, you got to be an actor. Like, hey, we're doing a play. Tommy, you're going to be a clown. I'm like, a clown? I'm not acting like a clown. I'm not a clown. That's not me. Well, if you want to be in this play, then you're going to act like a clown on stage. When you go home, you could be normal. So when we do presentations in the home, you got to be an actor. It's lights, camera, action. When you click Zoom, when it goes blink, you got to be like, okay, guys, lights, camera, action. Hey guys, Tom Veen. You got to be in the zone, ready to go and understand what you're about to deliver. Can't be fake. Got to be real energy, but you got to know that you have to come in at an 8. You got to be a loud talker. You have to be a loud talker so they can hear you. And when you talk loud, you talk proud. When you talk loud, you talk proud. And when you talk proud, you talk confidence. And that's what they buy is confidence. They want to buy confidence. So no matter what you're saying, just say it louder. And you sound so much more confident, and they buy that. That's what they buy. They're not paying for average. Remember that. People don't pay for average. If they click on that Zoom and they just see some average shit going on, an average person that fits the description of an average salesperson that's talking average, they're not paying for average. People don't pay for average. Think about it. Think about if I called everybody here and say, here's the contest for the month, guys. Here's the contest for the month, okay? We're all going to go at the end of the month. I want everybody to get really excited about this, okay? At the end of the month, I found out that there's this restaurant downtown in Chicago, and it is the most average restaurant in town. It's 2.5 stars out of 5. It got a 5 out of 10. They gave it 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down, the most average place. So let's all get excited because you have to write 20,000 this month. And if you write 20,000, I'm going to take you to this average restaurant. And hopefully, guys, we'll have an average time. Maybe we'll get some average service. I don't want to get great service. We'll just get some average service. We'll go get some average dessert. Afterwards, I'll take everybody to the movies because there's this movie that's out that it's 5 out of 10. It's an average movie. Like some people like it, some people we'll all go watch an average movie afterwards, eat some average popcorn. It's gonna be the most average night ever. Is everybody excited? Let's go crush it and write 20 grand for the month. Nobody's gonna get excited about that. Call up your honey, call up your boyfriend or girlfriend. Hey honey, get dressed up, babe. I want you to put the most average outfit you can find. We're gonna go to an average restaurant, get average food, have average dessert, average service, watch an average movie, come home, we're going to make average love. It's going to be the most average night of your life, babe. Get excited. What do you think she's going to do? Nope, they're not buying that. Nobody pays for average, right? So we want to bring above average personality to our presentation, but just keep in mind your voice fluctuation, because if you can come in at an 8, then what it'll allow you to do is it'll allow you to drop down to a 2, slow down, the whole presentation, get more serious with them, because Joe, a lot of people went to bed last night, and unfortunately, not everybody woke up this morning. And a lot of people went to work today, and not everyone's guaranteed to come home. So what I'm saying is, what we need to do is make sure that you get your foot in the door with these benefits, but keep it comfortable at the same time. And we'll make sure we do that for you today, right? Do you see how I just took this whole thing, slowed it down, talked lower, made such more of an impact on it? But then you could speed it right back up, talk loud again, make a joke. Oh my goodness, look at this. And now you could go up and down, and you can play around with your voice fluctuations a little bit in the presentation. Allows you to have more control. But it's the passion. Okay, so you guys, you ever see Denzel Washington? He's a big guy, right? A man. He's pretty manly. You see some of the movies, he's out there killing people in these movies. He's a beast in some of these movies, right? He's football coaching, all kind of stuff. But I also saw a movie where he was bawling his eyes out, crying. That's what it takes. You have to be able to have passion to where you can cry. That's how much you care. But the thing is, he was crying about something that was fake. It was a movie. It wasn't even real. And he's crying. And this guy's an actor, and he makes millions of dollars being what? An actor. In this business, we learn one script. He has to learn hundreds of scripts to make his millions. We learn one script here, be an actor with that one script, make millions of dollars, learning one script. And here, though, like, if we're getting passionate with a client about what we're doing, at least it's real. God bless him, Denzel Washington. But he's crying with these people, and it's fake. He's getting passionate over something that's fake. And then everybody who's watching the movie, they're all crying too. Passion. You have to have the passion in the sales. I'm telling you. That's something that, and empathy is another one that goes along with that, is what the top people have in sales, is these intangible things. Because I could give everybody the script, but some people go further with it than others, because I think they take a little bit more passion, a little bit more empathy, into their presentations. So if I could end on that, we can end on, let's bring some passion into it today. Let's bring some fire, right? Hey, great call today, guys. Good questions and everything. Big weekend. If we got to be at 20K for the month, then you got to be at 5K by Monday, right? If you want to be at 15K by the month, you got to be at like 4K by Monday. So let's keep track of our goals and use the numbers to guide you along the way. If you need anything, guys, let me know. Let's have a great one. Thanks.
Thanks, Tommy.